இருங்க லைன்ல இருங்க.
Sure.
Is it okay now?
No, sir. The slideshow போடுங்க sir. You need to
ஸ்லைட் ஷோ தான் போட்டிருக்கேன் செந்தில். ஏன்னா இது வந்து சம்டைம்ஸ் அந்த இதுல ப்ராப்ளம் வருது. விண்டோஸ் ஷேர் பண்ணும்போது
மைக் ஸ்விட்ச் ஆன் சார். மைக் கொஞ்சம் ஆஃப் பண்ணுங்க.
Sir?
Yes, madam.
Good morning, sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yes, we can start. Has everyone joined, madam?
Yes, sir, almost.
Okay, we can start.
Good morning to one and all present here. Hope all are doing good and safe. With a few quotes, let us start today's program. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will land among the stars. Unsuccessful people make decisions based on their current situations. Successful people make decisions based on where they want to be. it is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome you all for the webinar on Amplify Your Career with Electronics and Communication Engineering, organized by the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, SVCE Sri Perumbudur. Parents. Parents are the world for children. They are the one who provide a rich array of opportunities for children to learn, to grow, to discover who they are and how they want to make a difference in the world. With immense admiration, I welcome all the parents who joined this program. With a great honor and pleasure, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the renowned speakers, SVCians, and faculty members who took their valuable time and joined us today to be a part of this program. Education. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Yes, last but not the least, I extend a hearty welcome to the students, the future engineers. This webinar mainly aims to provide career counseling for class 12 students to understand and explore the scope and opportunity of electronics and communications in engineering. Today, promising you, it marks a very remarkable day for parents and especially to students, as this webinar will surely guide students to build a career in ECE by providing them insights on various domains like telecommunication, networking, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on, future job opportunities, and higher studies options. Before we carry on with our event, I would like to convey my regards and appreciations to all the people who made this occasion a successful reality. This could not have been possible without the sheer contribution of them. Without any further delay, let us start the program. And we would be delighted to have your suggestions and questions at the end of the program. On that note, let me call upon our beloved HOD to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. I hope everyone can hear me. So on behalf of the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, it is my pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to all of you to this webinar on Amplify Your Career with Electronics and Communication Engineering program organized by the Department of ECE. Today we have with us Ms. Pavitra Srinivasan, founder and director, Galvanize Test Preparations. She is also our proud alumna, studied ECE at SVCE during 96-2000, and Dr. Arun Janardhanan, senior staff, Qualcomm Chennai, and also he is a proud alumnus, studied ECE at SVCE during, between 99 and 2003, to share their views and experiences on this topic. I'm extremely delighted to welcome both of you. So I thank you for taking your time to join us in this webinar. I would like to welcome Mr. Manas Reddy and Ms. Abhirami, our 2021 passing out students who will be addressing you shortly. I welcome all the students, parents, participants, and faculty members to this webinar. So I take this forum to thank our management for giving us a wonderful opportunity to host this event for the benefit of the student community. So the objectives, of this webinar is to address, all your questions, that are lingering in your minds, especially for, young engineering aspirants, like which branch of engineering one should choose, which college to choose, or which branch of engineering has more scope in future, or for which branch fetches the highest salary. If I choose ECE, what will I study? If ECE, is ECE easy or tough, right? So where can an ECE engineer work? So is ECE a good branch for girls? What are the areas that an ECE student must focus on, and that he or she can have a better opportunities everywhere? And so why do most ECE students join software and IT companies? Are there fewer job opportunities in ECE? Which companies recruit ECE students? What are the core jobs for ECE? How can we get into them? So do we need to do any additional courses, or is ECE placement, is ECE placement good in India, right? or what are the job opportunities for an EC engineer in India, so a lot more. So we are here to answer your questions. The speakers will deliberate more on this. So I hope you all will find this session very interesting and useful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's my privilege to introduce our HOD, Dr. S. Muthukumar. Dr. S. Muthukumar, Professor and Head of the Department of Electronics and Communication, has 30 years of teaching and research experiences both in India and abroad. His primary research interest includes multi-core processor architecture, high-performance computing, and embedded systems. He received his PhD from B.S. Abdur Rahman University in the year 2015. He holds BE in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Bharatiyar University and ME in Applied Electronics from Bharatiyar University. During his doctoral study, he worked on enhancing the performance of cache memory in chip multiprocessors. He has authored more than 30 technical papers. He had initiated and nurtured active interaction with various industries. He is instrumental in getting many MOUs signed with various reputed industries. Now, I call upon our respected HOD to deliver the talk on why electronics and communication engineering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So what is ECE, right? What is electronics and communication engineering, or what does an electronics and communication engineer do, right? So all of the applications, right, if you ask me, which make our life easier and enjoyable, such as television or radio, computers, mobile phones, laptops, drones, storage devices, Bluetooth devices, smart cameras, biometric systems, robot, etc. Are all designed and developed by electronics and communication engineers. So ECE actually deals with two things, right? One is electronics and the other one is communication, right? So what is electronics, right? So as you all might have studied till your class 12th, right? The flow of electrons produces the electricity, right? So the field of electronics involves the study of electron flow through various conductors, and we call the devices which control this charge flow as electronic devices. Electronic gadgets like laptops, televisions, pen drives, smartphones, etc. play a major role in our everyday life, right? So electronics has many branches like analog electronics, digital electronics. I mean, most of the things are dealing with digital signals, and nano electronics, embedded systems, and robotics, right, which combines the use of electronics, mechanics, and software, right, to program the robots to do a particular job, and many other fields as well, right? So in electronics, you will study about all the components, right, like resistors, capacitors, diodes, transistors, integrated circuits, its characteristics, application, and design. So because of the deployment of electronics in industries, what we call as automation, productivity has increased, right? So which means it enables mass production, right, with improved quality, greater consistency, safety, cost reduction, improved working conditions, and so on and so forth, right? So if you are really creative and innovative, certainly you will find ECE a challenging and lucrative career, no doubt about it. A lot of research opportunities are also available. So the other one, is the communication engineering, right? So communication deals with, sending and receiving of signals and data, right, by means of electromagnetic waves. For example, it takes satellite communication, or fiber optic communication, microwave communication, networks, internet and intranet, etc. Right? So along with this, you may have to you will also study about programming as well, right? So in communication engineering, you will learn about various equipments like, mobile phones, modems, routers, Wi-Fi devices, antennas, and also design of mobile and computer networks. Some widely used and, popular applications of, communication networks include the internet and mobile networks, right? So whenever, we use, services from a mobile network operator like Airtel, right? So their every functionality is actually built on the foundations of communication engineering. So what you see right now in front of you on the slide is, communication actually plays a major role in satellites, in the field of satellite engineering, satellite communication, right? So in designing communication satellites, which transmit data between different Earth stations, right? So for example, during a satellite radio broadcast, different Earth stations communicate with each other through the communication satellite. When you are in ECE, right, you will learn the basics of satellites, using which you can create your own satellites, right? So if your satellite design is good, it will even be launched, by a space station. So many students have actually accomplished this during their period of study. So having, said about electronics and communication, right? So let me tell you the importance of ECE and, the scope of pursuing ECE, right? So you may ask me why I should choose ECE in particular, right? So the electronics industry is actually leading the technology world now, right? And everything which we will see in the future, right, is the output of the electronics industry. So everything around you is electronics, right? So ECE is part of our daily life. So the entire world is functioning with, electronic devices. Just imagine, right, the electronics inside all the medical equipments, right? Such as, I think even during this pandemic period, you might have noticed, right? Equipments, such as pulse oximeter or BP monitor, heart rate monitor, blood glucose monitor, oxygen concentrators, EEG or ECG, CT scanning, right? Wearable electronic devices like smart watches, etc. So wherever you go, right, or whatever you do, right, everywhere it is digital, right? So most of the things around us are automated, right? The world will come to a standstill without communication, right? So just imagine what will happen if all the mobile phones and all the mobile phones are not working and all the internet services are down, right, throughout the world. Just imagine the situation, right? So all online businesses certainly cannot function. So because of that, a huge revenue loss will occur, right? So therefore, I would say, ECE is indispensable, right? So a lot of researchers is going on in various fields of ECE all over the world, in various universities as well. So some of the emerging areas, right, in ECE are, if you ask me, wireless communication, we call it as, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LoRa, Bluetooth, even low energy. Now they call it as a BLE, Zigbee technologies, fiber optic communications, embedded systems, nano electronics, or, for that matter, very large scale integration, VLSI, organic LEDs, OLEDs, as far as the displays are concerned, right? And, another emerging field is, BCI, brain computer interface, and mind machine interface, which deals with, capturing of brain signals with help of sensors, process them and translate it to various commands, to carry out appropriate action, right? This is an emerging field. And, gesture control devices are available. Another upcoming domain is haloportation, right? It's done by, Microsoft haloportation technology, right? Which involves, 3D capturing, 3D image capturing, and, transmission with sophisticated devices. So over and above, all these things, 5G mobile technology is also, an upcoming field. And, you have, virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, and all these things are not possible without electronics, right? So you have, even IoT, right? Internet of Things or Internet of Robotic Things, and 3D printing technology, and a lot more, Therefore, demand for ECE engineers, will certainly be there for the next 20 years, no doubt about it, right? So, so if you ask me, what is the best career option available for an ECE student in India or abroad, right? So you can actually take up, a job in any one of the core fields, as it is. Some of them are actually listed in the slides, right? You can either in VLSI or signal processing or image processing or robotics, a lot of fields are there, embedded systems, telecommunications, control systems, and many more, right? Or actually you can take up a job in IT industries, like software developer, right, where you need to do some coding, right? So most coding is also taught in during your 4 years of study. So most of the EC students are working in IT industries. In software industries, the thing is, recession may come at any time, right? So but if you are an EC engineer, you can actually adapt or fit into any situation. You have the option of moving immediately to a core company, right? So whereas a computer science graduate would be a jobless, during a recession period. So ECE is a branch, which allows you to explore your interests. You can always switch your branch in your masters, depending on what you like. So if you are asking about careers, right, which you can take up, after your basic engineering, right? So you can actually go for, masters in a specific branch, like, ME, right? Master of Engineering, or MTech, right? Master of Technology in Applied Electronics or Communication Systems or Embedded Systems or Industrial Engineering, right? So in order to do ME, actually, you should take up the GATE exam, right? Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. Or if you want to do MS also, Master of Science in a foreign country, you may have to take up, GRE or IELTS or TOEFL, etc. Right? Most of our students actually, they take all these, competitive examinations, and they go and do their higher studies abroad. So, or you can actually, go and do some management studies, after doing your CAT or, GMAT, right? Or you can actually go and take up some administrative positions like, IAS, IPS, or IFS after writing some civil service examinations conducted by UPSC, right?
Sir,
Yes.
I have a doubt, sir. Sir, does solar cell is associated with electronic and communication engineering, sir?
Shall I answer to your question after towards the end of my presentation, if you don't
Yes,
mind?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So ours actually, is one of the very well, reputed, autonomous institutions, affiliated to Anna University. So our institution is actually accredited by NAC, right? National Assessment and Accreditation Council. And, in specific, the ECE program is actually accredited by NBA, National Board of Accreditation, right? A significant number of our alumni, work abroad. Highest C2C is around 25 lakhs per annum, right? CTC stands for actually cost to the company, right? And 20 lakhs per annum had been offered by PayPal and Amazon, to our students, right? So our faculty members are actually well experienced and highly qualified, and we also have the state of the art, laboratories to promote research and innovation. Most of our alumni, work in Dream and Super Dream, companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, etc. Our institution, with all the state of art amenities, right, is located in the industrial corridor of Chennai. Okay, so our institution is approved by AICTE, Anna University, accredited by NAC and NBA, also certified by ISO, right? We do have ISO 9001 2015 to ensure quality in all aspects. So these are the programs offered by the department, right? In ECE department in specific, right? BE ECE, actually we started in the year 1985, and the first batch graduated in 1989. So far 32 batches have passed out. The approved intake for BE ECE is 180. So we do offer a postgraduate program. A Master of Engineering in Communication Systems started in the year 2002, and so far 16 batches have passed out, and the approved intake for ME Communication Systems is 18. So we also offer, PhD and MS by research programs. Our department is approved as a research center by Anna University, Chennai. So more than 60 research scholars are actually pursuing their doctoral studies, through our research center, both in the full-time and part-time mode. Okay, so as I said, BECE is a program in specific is accredited by National Board of Accreditation. So we have around 38 faculty members in the department, out of which 5 of them are professors, 2 associate professors and 31 assistant professors. 14 faculty members, they hold PhD qualification, and 16 faculty members are actually pursuing PhD out of this the remaining 24. So this slide actually shows the academic performance of our students. So our students have been, consistently performing well in all in their academics. So as you can see, more than 80% of the students graduate with first class, and some of them with first class in first class with distinction. Right? So this is about our placements. So as you can see, the number of companies, visiting our department for, recruiting our students is increasing year by year. So in this academic year, 88 companies, visited our department. So as you can see in this slide, more than 90% of our students got placed, every year through the campus placements, right? So the highest CTC, that is, the cost to the company, right, offered to our students by core companies is actually shown, in this slide. So for the academic year 2021, right, it is around 9 lakhs per annum. So this is the average CTC, offered to our students during the last 5 years. So this is around 4.25 lakhs per annum, for the academic year 2021. Which means, upon successful graduation, this package is assured. So we do, permit, our students to sit or appear, right, for more than one company during placements. So some students get multiple offers, right, and finally they will decide, which one to accept, right. So 53 students, have received more than one job offer during the year, 2021. So this is about internships, right? So an internship actually is a short-term program. It is a short-term a kind of work experience, right? Offered by companies and other organizations for the students to get some entry-level exposure to a particular industry or field, right? So ideally, interns spend their time working on relevant projects. Learning about the field, making industry connections, and developing both hard and soft skills. So internships sometimes lead to full-time job offers. So depending upon the performance, right? So as an intern, actually, you can get a chance to work side by side with accomplished industry professionals and get a pretty good idea of what an entry level role might entail, right? So you will also gain some real work experience. So therefore it is so internship actually is considered very important. So we permit actually students to go for internships from 3rd year onwards. So sometimes they get paid during their study itself. They get paid during the internship period around 15,000 or 20,000 per month. So it is actually a mandatory requirement, and all the students have to undergo internships. So these are our some of our top recruiters. So most of them are MNCs. So every so every year actually a sizable number of students go abroad, right, for higher studies. So they will actually prepare an SOP, statement of purpose, and get a letter of recommendation, right, from us, and get admission in any one of the universities, right, based on their scores in GRE, TOEFL, or IELTS, etc. So as you can see, it shows an increasing trend for those who opt for higher studies. So these are actually some of the top ranking universities where our students studied or are studying, right? Okay. So online events, right? So see, during this pandemic period, students actually were not able to continue their studies in the normal conventional mode, right? So in order to ensure quality education during these difficult times, we have actively organized several online events with the help of experts from academia, industries, and academia and industries, and our alumni also, to help our students to get exposure on the latest technologies and also the recent happenings in the industries. These are actually the counts of various events conducted during the pandemic period, right? STTP actually stands for short-term training program, faculty development program, workshops, and webinars. See, these are some of the posters and flyers which we have designed for all those online events organized. I'll just skip okay. So this is about the industrial visits, right? So industrial visit actually is a part of our system, right? So during which students visit companies and get an insight on the internal working environment of the company. So industry visits sensitize students to the practical challenges that organizations face in the business world. So we have actually organized visits to Satish Dhawan Space Center, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, many times, and Neyveli Lignite Corporation, NLC, BSNL, North Chennai Thermal Power Plant, etc. Right? And so this is actually, these are all some of the considered as co-curricular activities. See, we encourage our students to take part apart from their regular academic studies. We encourage them to take part in co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities as well. Some of the activities worth mentioning are student research day and technical symposium, actually in the name of Upagraha. Seminars, conferences, and other technical events like Makeathon, Hackathon, etc. So they do actually a lot of activities under technical societies like IET, IEEE, CSI, and EC Association. So we do encourage our students to present their research papers in national and international level conferences, for which registration fee and other travel expenses are actually borne by our management. So these are some of the co-curricular activities in which our students actually have taken part. So to mention a few, actually would say, like Smart India Hackathon, right? So Smart India Hackathon actually is a national level SIH, we call it as SIH. It is a national level event, national level competition, an initiative taken by the government of India, like MHRD and AICTE, right, to promote innovation and out of box thinking, right, in young minds. So problems which we face in our daily lives will be shared by the corporate people, right, will be shared by the organizations to the student teams, right? So, and get them actually solved by the students. So each team will have a mentor, right? Faculty member will be a mentor. So all the resources for the implementation will be provided, and individual teams actually have to come up with a solution and a working model in 5 working days, right? So many of our students actually have took part in this SIH, and they have won many awards, right? So these are actually some of the, this is the Makeathon event, which actually was conducted in our college. This is about our symposium, and and coming to this, actually this is our our infrastructure, right? So all the theory subjects which all the theory subjects which the students will study, right, they all will have some associated labs as well, right? So parallelly you will do some experiments and gain practical knowledge, right? So these are the labs we have, separate labs we have, right? So research lab, we have a research lab meant for, UG and PG students, in which we have equipments like, vector network analyzer, spectre analyzer, printed circuit board, prototyping machine, which are actually used for consultancy purposes as well, right? And in the communication lab, actually, it is equipped with, advanced communication trainer kits for carrying out experiments in analog and digital communication. You will also learn about, how the voice signals are actually transmitted and received. And the devices lab actually is equipped with all the basic equipments, required to develop and test the electronic systems, like, multimeters, IC testers, cathode ray oscilloscopes, ammeters, voltmeters, wattmeters, etc. So experiments like, rectifiers, right, AC to DC conversions, or amplifiers, oscillators, etc. are actually carried out in this lab. So here also we have, analog electronic devices and digital electronic devices lab, right? So signal processing lab actually is meant for carrying out experiments related to, speech processing, face recognition, computer vision, and medical imaging, using, a tool called MATLAB, right? And so we have an embedded lab, right? So students will always find this lab, very interesting, right? Because they have to build hardware and write software using C or C++, or using Python, right? To make the model work, right? So for example, building a drones, drone, or building a robo, PC controlled robo, line following robo, pick and place robo, right? Bluetooth controlled car, car robo to help farmers, firefighting robots, right? So sometimes, projects conceived actually in this lab will be continued as a final year project as well, right? So we have ample facilities like Arduino boards, Raspberry Pi boards, PIC boards, ARM 8051 microcontrollers, etc. Together with all the necessary softwares, tools, sensors, and actuators. So this is one of the lab which is very well equipped. And so software lab actually is meant for practicing the programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python, object-oriented programming, concepts and data structures as well, right? And microwave and optical lab, in this lab actually your students will learn, how to send or receive, signals using the light rays and at microwave frequencies. And in applied electronics lab actually is actually meant for VLSI design, very large scale integration, design. So that is for improving the performance of ICs, integrated circuits, like how to increase the speed or reduce the power consumption, area, delay, size, etc. Right, in an IC. All the adequate tools are available in this lab. So we also, carry out, some consultancy work, consultancy projects through measurements and testing, and also through the printed circuit board, design and development. So we encourage our students to become a member in any one of the professional societies, right? So like IETE, Institute, Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, right? Or IEEE or Computer Society of India. So by way of participating and organizing events, through these societies, actually they can be proficient in all aspects, right? Especially they can improve their leadership skills, teamwork, soft skills, communication, and things like that, right? So having said all these things, why ECE at SPCE, right? So as I said, our institution is accredited by NAC, Anna University approved. We have a Anna University approved research center. Research activities in various domains are going on, right? And a good amount of consultancy work is also being done, right? And so we have a very good campus placements, and a lot of research projects funded by ISRO, DST, TNSCST, and CTS actually are being carried out. Students' involvement in research activities and student counseling center as well. And so industry interaction, right? So industry interaction or involvement is always there. For we have actually signed the MOUs with many industries. Our students actually they carry out the projects, right, with the help of industry experts. And even these MOUs actually are meant for IVs, industrial visits, implant training, and for knowledge sharing through the expert talks. We do invite people from industries to give a short technical talk to our students, workshops, seminars, and value added courses, and industrial training is also actually accomplished through this MOU. See, this is about, our placement. See, we actually conduct a program called, employability enhancement training for, for the third year students, actually, to train them on some of the highly sought after skills, right, in the industries, like, improving their confidence level, communication skills, develop the strong analytical and problem solving skills, which will help the students in their placements during their final year, right? So all the students who are actually willing to attend this campus placements will be put into this program during their, pre-final year. So we are an autonomous institution. So we have actually our own regulation, curriculum, and syllabus, based on the industry requirement. Actually, we have framed it. So we have our own examination and grading system as well. So degree will be awarded by the parent university, that is Anna University. So many students, they will have this doubt actually. So all our academic activities are actually carried out with the approval of Board of Studies and Academic Council. Right. So the members of Board of Council are actually from Anna University, industries, and alumni, and experts from other reputed organizations. So our academic system actually follows choice-based credit system, which we call it as a CBCS system. So this is actually this is actually kind of learning system in which it is student-centric. We say it is student-centric, right? So the conventional kind of the method, it's totally different from the conventional mode. In which actually in CBCS system, the students will have the facility to choose the courses from the prescribed courses, and also they can learn at their own pace. So undergo additional courses, they will be allowed to undergo additional courses. Actually, we call it as add or drop, value added courses and online courses are also there. The CBCS system consists of a variety of, different fields, like, we have, basic sciences, engineering sciences, professional core subjects, open electives, professional electives, and even, employability enhancement courses in certain, proportion, right? So humanities and social sciences will include, different kinds of subjects related to, management and, communication, and all your physics, chemistry, mathematics will be taught as part of the basic sciences, right? So you will learn all your professional course subjects based on your branch, and you will also have some professional elective subjects, right? So there are open electives and professional electives as well. Open electives actually are the courses offered by other departments, which you can take up and study, right? For example, if you are from ECE, you can actually choose to study some subjects belonging to the other departments, like mechanical or computer science. So professional electives are actually subjects which will help you to specialize in your branch, right? So apart from these academic subjects, the courses under employment enhancement topic will improve the industry exposure of students through project work, seminars, and internships in industries, right? So as I said, these are the features of our autonomous CBCS system. So in our CBCS system, so we allow the students actually to take up some online courses in these reputed platforms, right, like Coursera, in Udemy, edX, or NPTEL, as part of their curriculum, right? So students actually can take the credits from these online courses and transfer them to their course credits as part of their grades. So see, we do provide various scholarships, right? So for deserving students under 3 bases, for meritorious academic performance. So merit cum means which is for students from a financially struggling background, and economic means and performance in sports and NCC activities. So the top rank holders in the continuous assessment tests conducted by us will also receive scholarships for every semester and for every end semester examinations. So every year, actually, we give away various awards to our students. So based on different categories. So some prestigious awards that actually we give away include Devaki Muttaya Endowment Award, Panikar Award, Outstanding NCC Cadet Award, Rangachari Award, and the Outstanding, Sports Person Award. So these are, some of the facilities available in our institution. So we have a vast, Wi-Fi enabled central library, right, with more than 1 lakh books. And we also have a separate department library for which, for each of our department, specializations. So apart from, academics, we highly encourage, sports activities in our campus. So we have, both outdoor and indoor sports facilities. So these are, some of the outdoor, sports facilities and areas available in our campus. Right? So we also have a swimming pool and, gymnasium along with other indoor, game facilities. So for hostel students, we have a fully furnished separate hostels for boys and girls. So with a very good good maintenance and good facilities. So after graduation, students actually can take any one of the 3 paths, right? So which is one is the job, and the other one is the higher studies, and the third one is entrepreneurship. Actually, they can start their own business, right? And so entrepreneurship actually involves starting a business or a startup company, right? So to support the students interested in entrepreneurship, so we have actually a cell called as entrepreneurship development cell. So in this cell we provide an incubation environment to startups, and we provide full financial assistance till the startups products are commercialized. So we also have another cell called as Institution Innovation Council, IIC, to support entrepreneurship activities. So we have several student clubs, right, to promote various extracurricular activities. Some of the clubs are Youth Red Cross, Rotaract Club, Eco Club, which is for protecting and preserving our environment and nature. And so we have all the 3 wings of NCC, right, namely Army Wing and Air Wing and Navy. So the members of NSS are actively involved, right, in providing various social services to people by organizing camps and volunteering in many campaigns and social activities. So we also have a Tamil Mandram to promote and cultivate various creations and activities in Tamil literature. So Red Ribbon Club is involved actually in in spreading awareness on HIV and AIDS. So our music club actually encourages and provides a stage for music enthusiasts. So students actually who are interested in playing musical instruments and other forms of music actually can join in this club to hone their skills. So we also have another club called as EWB, Engineers Without Borders, where actually we promote the application of engineering technologies for a humanitarian cause, like helping underprivileged people. So to assist the transport of students to and from the college, so we provide a large network of transport facilities with buses actually connecting over 60 different routes across Chennai. So our canteen actually provides high quality vegetarian foods and snacks within the campus. So for transferring the students fees online, we also have a dedicated online payment portal. So the entire campus actually is periodically maintained by highly qualified and dedicated officials. So we have a medical facility inside our campus for 6 students, students actually who become sick, and we also ensure a 24-hour ambulance facility within the campus. So we have an information management system to manage and maintain all our institutions' IT infrastructure. So our institution actually has a glorious history of more than 30 years, right? So we are actually proud to have several of our alumni, right, occupying top management positions in many prominent industries, and many of our alumni are also successful entrepreneurs. So we have an active network of alumni constantly in communication with us in the mutual interest of the welfare of our institution, right? So as you can see, these are some of the prominent alumni who graduated from SVCE. So among all the prominent, these are the people, and yeah. So among all the prominent alumni, of SVCE, so we take pride in conveying that our principal, Dr. S. Ganesh Vaidyanathan, is also an eminent alumni from the Electronics and Communication Engineering Department of SVCE. So I think we have reached the end of presentation. So SVCE is one of the top colleges, in the city, and we never fail to offer, our students the best learning and career path. So we hope that all of you will make the wise decision, right, of choosing SVCE, and we will be, more than delighted to welcome you all to our prestigious institution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable and informative speech. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. As you said, EC provides a perfect middle ground to equip yourself with all the necessary skills to reach a wide variety of career options. Thank you once again, sir. Now, I profoundly delighted to introduce the next speaker for the day, Dr. Arun Janarthanan, Senior Staff, Qualcomm, Chennai. We highly appreciate his spontaneous acceptance of our invitation and for being a pillar of support to the department at all times as an alumnus. I welcome you, sir. And it's my privilege to introduce our speaker, Dr. Arun. Arun obtained bachelor's in ECE from SVCE in 2003 and subsequently a master's and PhD in CSE from University of Cincinnati, specializing in low-power VLSI design and reconfigurable computing. Arun has worked in various positions in Intel Santa Clara, California, Bangalore, and now in the system of chip power architecture realms of Qualcomm in Chennai. Arun enjoys first principles, thinking from device physics to software, connecting the knowledge across multiple disciplines. Electronics forms the fundamental part of his pursuit for technology. Along with his company's CSR and in personal capacity, Arun has reached about 8,000 needy children in Chennai, and he enjoys teaching across 10 government schools and 3 housing boards in vernacular and English. Arun crunches all of maths, physics, chemistry from grades 1 to 12 as stories in his YouTube channel. Now, I request the distinguished speaker to address the gathering and cast the light of his knowledge upon the topic Industry Insights, Career Prospects, and Skill Sets for Industry 4.0. Over to you, sir.
Namaskaram. Thank you so much for the introduction and for the great talk as well. I really enjoyed listening to Sir's description of SVC, the brilliant legacy, its appropriateness to contemporary industry, and it took me back about 20 years, more than 20 years, 1999, when I had to make myself a personal decision. It is SVC, obvious choice in Chennai, and in addition to that, the department was EC as well. So 1999 EC, I joined SVC and graduated 2003, right? So all the introduction that about the huge legacy of what this college has produced, the brilliant lecturers and the infrastructure, the closeness to Chennai itself, the heart of the vibrancy of Chennai, the dream that it all fostered me with during the 4 years of stay from the very first day when we just got down in the college, right? From that moment onwards, so much happened in the college that that it took me back so many years, 22 years. Thank you so much. So a brief introduction about me was already shared, but in the context of the current talk today, with its in connections of what EP at SVC could do, could help you for industry, for your pursuits in industry. right? I am an architect, computer architect, who's designing phone chips and co-processing chips. The phone that currently that it actually that I'm using to make a call now using Wi-Fi has integrated circuit Snapdragon cores, which are a part of Qualcomm's technologies. I'm a senior staff here in Chennai, and I enjoy architecting the chip. So architecting involves understanding the device physics, the electronics of the chip, the fabrication techniques, the way it goes into the factory and comes back, and then how do you program that, right? All the way to from hardware to software, right? So if you compare, somebody asks us how does a phone work, we are compelled to talk about the user experience part of it, like how what you do with the screens, right? But what you do with the screen is software. But when they say software cannot be felt, you cannot touch. But how can something that you cannot touch work on something that you can touch? Hardware is something that you can touch, right? How does something that you cannot touch work on something that you can touch? So it kind of brings a very profound analogy to how the human body works, because body is physical, but your mind is so you cannot feel it, but still it makes your entire body work, right? It's that philosophically profound how a computer chip works, and which is the fundamental reason the world has actually changed so much. Qualcomm is a pioneer in communication technologies, heart of ECE, building up from electronic solid state devices all the way to wireless technologies, and the pioneer of CDMA technologies and the 3G, 4G, 5G communication wireless technologies, right? So all of them are within the umbrella of this giant company that I'm a part of. Uh, has a design center in Chennai. Previously, I was with Intel, also semiconductors, designing these chips, building integrated circuits. So VLSI, the labs that Sir was mentioning about, where you understand the architectural specification, you convert it into design RTL, and then you implement it on the physical device, and then you test it, the boards, the platform. All of this is so beautiful how electronics combines together and gives us an opportunity to understand this, right? So that has been my journey. So I wanted to give a brief description of what my journey has been. But after SVC, I pursued my master's and PhD in the US. So that was also in VLSI design. So the interest was picked up during the 4 years in college. During the 4 years in college, there are so many peers who you rub your shoulders with, who are all aspiring, who want to understand technology so deeply. You talk to them, and there is so much inspiration you get. The travel, right? There is a 30-minute bus journey at least. So that time there is so much dreams get passed on to you, that I want to perhaps go there and read about it, go to America, understand how these chips work, go to the Silicon Valley. The Silicon Valley, there is a place there for that. Perhaps so all these discussions come out, right? When kids talk to each other. So all the dreams were nourished in SVC from the day one, right? Very clear about the significance that this college has done to me. I'll be so deeply indebted throughout my life for such a great launch it has given to my career, right? So with that, masters and PhD seemed like there were a lot of challenges, because you have to understand the depth of a specific area, because until then you have in college you have courses, right? As Sir mentioned, analog design, digital design, computer programming. You understand small solid states, low power design. You understand everything. But then if you want to research, if you want to find out something that's slightly beyond what is contemporary, then your depth has to be, you have to go really deep, at the same time understanding the landscape. So that was a brilliant opportunity, right? Being there in US. And then right after that, in 2005, first internship was in Intel. So Intel is pioneer in semiconductors again. So they're a fabrication giant, still a fabrication giant. So understood how the chips, the life cycle of the chips. Where does the chip begin? How does somebody conceptualize it in the market? Why do somebody want a specific form factor, the device size, shape, the low power capabilities, the operating speed, the cost more than anything, right? You don't want to pay anything, like as less as possible. So optimizing all these problems, you are able to analytically understand the landscape, and then you build on that. So to me, EC was a very very easy choice. I said there's nothing else as deep as EC, right? There's no other discipline that makes you understand this huge spectrum. You will find out a professor, and then you will find out his research area. One will be in this corner, another will be in that corner. You'll be like, wow, can the mind fit in all this spectrum? Yes, it can. It can fit in more. It gets more happy when you can connect all these pieces and you present a huge landscape. It feels very joyful, right? So computer science is a beautiful baby out of EC, right? So you can understand that it's like a child of EC, right? So all of architecture is driven by the physical limitations of EC. So I don't have to emphasize
for
more on EC
Raj.
itself because we understand it deeply now. But with respect to your relevance to industry and what you will be doing henceforth, right? After your 4 years of journey, uh, so present yourselves to virtually every single option that is possible, right? There is a lot of options will emerge that even I cannot foresee from now on. In 4 years, perhaps in the second year itself, you will have brilliant idea to start your own company, or in the first year itself, you'll have friends talking to each other and say, can we kind of partner and develop some product for a specific company, and then you will start gaining these skills. So all these dreams that you will have, I have no no completely, I have no say in that. I'll have to be a patient observer and enjoy how your children and you are going to foster that and nourish it. But companies, of course, you have huge list of companies coming for placement, right? The core companies, which are all have the college portal has a huge list of all the companies, right? Embedded UR System, Samsung, India Electronics, Akamai, Data Patterns, Siemens, virtually every single uh, electronic gadget manufacturer slash IC designer slash IoT embedded. You can think about anything. It will fall within this core interest. But you will understand that the cores itself have the core value of EC is much more deeper than any other discipline, because even it covers a part of the mechanical aspects nowadays. I'm so deeply that because of the robotics, you're able to understand the physical aspects of mechanical through electronics, because energy originates through the electronic power, right? The batteries and everything, right? So you want things to be portable. And then, as sir mentioned, you have the instrumentation for medical fraternity that is also emerging from electronics. So virtually any the data collection and analytics, the host of analytics companies that have recently started, right? Around every single thing. There might be a gadget tomorrow to just find out how many times you're going out and into your house. Everybody's house, right? They could be collecting that data. Number of cars, number of air pollution sensors have changed the world completely. You can put a sensor to virtually anything. They have a bunch of rabbits in my garden. I can think of soil sensors, a lot of automation, right, for helping them and understand how this it all connects. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you go from EC, everything becomes EC. That's a kind of a unintended correlation, right? When you start from EC, every other understanding, every discipline becomes EC, right? So that's my strength as well. Even today, my first principles based thinking, right? I love teaching math, physics, chemistry to children because I have understood how to connect things from one domain to another domain, and now I can story tell all of children's education as Harikatha, as Tamil Raga. I can speak about technology and connect them easily. So all that I owe to EC itself. A word of a note that I want to mention about college itself, reinforcing, right? It was so this is more a personal joy that I had joining SVC. It was more like an extended home. It's inside the community. All the staffs, the teachers, the professors, even the canteen staff, everybody is still there. I love visiting that every now and then. I feel joyful. I feel like I've connected back to those days again. So it's like an extended family. So you feel together. You feel bonded and together, and in that, a lot of friendships will emerge. A lot of great companies could get founded, and there's a huge legacy of luminous uh, alumni right? Alumnus is people who have graduated before you. There's huge people, and you say SVC, you're from SVC, right? Immediately there is an aura around you. You will be like, wow, there is a discussion. There is a how was your experience? Did you go to this? Did you like about this? There's a lot of discussions, right? So so that is something that I wanted to kind of mention about as well. And probably, feel free to ask during the rest of this discussion as well if you have specific aspects that you want to understand about about opportunities that are present and when you complete ECA. Switching gears back to how you can sharpen your skills during the 4 years. There is course for every single domain, right? So which covers the breadth of things. So you will have to connect one to another. If you're taking 5 courses in one semester, you will enjoy understanding why those 5 have appeared before huge list of 15. Why did you learn this first before that? Why did you have sixth standard before seventh standard? You will have to connect in that way, and then slowly grasp what are all the underlying pieces in this department, right? And lecturers are there, and various professors and academicians are there to help you, but you have to reach out to them and have a great, rewarding 4 years. So again, yeah, it just takes me back the joy of. I know it's a difficult decision because you finished your 12th standard and you have a lot of things going on in your mind as to what engineering degree, what department, what are the opportunities? Should I go into core? Should I think about coding? Is that difficult? Is this difficult? That has never happened. Can this happen ever? I would tell you that absolutely have an open mind and shoot for the sky, right? Shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, shoot for whatever is farthest from you. Dream. And that dream, it's a perfect place for dreaming. SVC is a perfect place for dreaming. Make sure you connect, you make your bonds. Never let anyone convince you that, hey, that is not yours. But no, open it up, open it up, open it up, open it up. Understand everything and dream. Be it any department, any area, right? So thank you. With that, I'll conclude the discussion that I just presented to you. Hope you found it useful. But please reach out to me if you'd like more relevant information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Arun. Your talk would definitely have motivated the students and gave them a clear idea about the scope of ECE in industries. As students are entering a new growth phase, your speech was very timely and much helpful. Your enthusiasm is contagious. Thank you, Arun, once again. I feel extremely proud to introduce the next speaker, who is one of our distinguished alumnus, Ms. Pavitra Srinivasan, founder and product director, Galvanized Test Prep, your one-stop shop to get that dream degree abroad. Global admissions counseling to study in USA, UK, Europe, Canada, Australia, and Singapore, and personalized coaching for SAT, GRE, TOEFL, and IELTS. And let me take the privilege to read the profile of Pavitra. She completed her undergraduation from SVCE in the year 2000 and post-graduation in MS in Digital Signal Processing and Image Processing from Stanford University in the year 2003. She is passionate about using product strategy and design to solve hard problems for end users in a scalable manner. She enjoys building addictive software products that create the right habits in users and thereby improves their lives. She has built multiple successful mobile apps and web platforms with success defined both quantitatively and qualitatively. Let me invite Ms. Pavitra Srinivasan to share her success story as our alumnus. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And I would like to begin by greeting all of you. And I think every student and parent who is watching this session, it's a fantastic opportunity for you to learn about what is the potential of doing an EC undergraduate degree. And when I was in your shoes decades ago, we did not have this kind of exposure, or this prevalent video calls and all of that, where we could connect and learn about these things. So you've taken a great step by devoting this time to listening to all of these insights. I would also like to thank the ECE department and at SVC and the organizers here. And just like Arun said, I have a lot of wonderful memories about my time at SVCE. I definitely have to say that my love for ECE and all, it gave me the foundation for my career, and for my future. Right, I knew by the time I was in my third and fourth year of SVC, I kind of knew what I wanted to specialize in. I was very interested in digital signal processing and image processing. I took neural networks and image processing as my electives, and that gave me a deeper insight into these fields. And so I decided to pursue my master's in digital signal processing and image processing. And now, fortunately, I did very well in academics. I have to say the professors at SVC are very, very sincere, right? As a teacher myself, I can tell, one of the things I do is I help students and I interact with lots of students. And I can tell you that when a lot of times when students complete the schooling and enter college, and it doesn't matter, which school they came from, which college they're going to, but sometimes they feel so jaded, right? That, oh, I have studied for all these entrance exams. Now let me go and enjoy my 4 years of college. Okay. Now, enjoyment is good, but I really want to share that the best use you can make of your time during those 4 years is to solidify yourself in the concepts of your field, and that will set you up for professional success everywhere. Right, and I'm very proud to share that when I was a student at SVC, our current principal of SVC was actually one of my teachers. So he was a professor, and it's lovely to see the circle come around. So I will just share a brief presentation where I'll talk to you about the topics I'm planning to cover today. I hope my screen is visible. And so firstly, I will be speaking about the higher education opportunities abroad. So after your undergrad in EC, what can you do if you want to study abroad, whichever degree you want to do, what can you do, what is the process? So just to give you an idea on how to shape your future. And secondly, I'll be talking a little bit about the soft skills and professional skills for career development, and then finally touch upon my own experience in entrepreneurship and what that is all about. And so, please do note down any questions you have. There will be a Q&A at the end of the event, and we can dive into that. Right. So my entrepreneurial journey, I have to say, was motivated a lot. When I look back and connect the dots, the fact that when I was in SVC and I looked around and I saw so many ambitious students, and so many of them were planning to do their masters abroad, and I was like, okay, why not me, right? I can also do it. So I have to say that being in an environment with students also ambitious was very motivating. And today, so many of my SVC batchmates are doing exceptionally well professionally. We are still in touch, and it's amazing to see that foundation and the ambition that was there, right? And so, because I therefore I knew that, okay, I had to go. I wanted to do my master's abroad. What do I need to do for that? So I have to do well academically. I have to do well on my exams like the GRE and the TOEFL. I had to do my project really well, my final year project and other projects, and make sure it's linked to the specific area within ECE that I wanted to pursue. So I did all of that, and I was very fortunate to have received an admission from Stanford University, and exceptionally lucky that I also got a full fellowship, and therefore from a financial perspective also, there was everything worked out. And I chose to specialize in digital image processing. And like I said, that wouldn't have come to me if I had not done my ECE at SVC. Now, what am I doing today and why am I sharing that it's connected? So because of the journey that I had, and when I applied to all these universities, when I got admitted to Stanford, and I look back and I felt that, if I at that time, the process of applying to universities and how to take these tests, nothing was really structured, and there was a lot of confused, complicated advice, and you didn't really know what was the right decision. So I was very interested and motivated to make sure that I wanted to do what was in my power to make sure that the next generation of students who want to study abroad do not face these issues. So that is why I founded galvanizedtestprep.com. And we provide end-to-end online solutions for students, working professionals, anyone who wants to pursue a global degree. Right? And when you say end-to-end online solutions, it means right from the test preparation that you have to do, because if you want to study in the US, you have to take a certain test called the GRE, right? If you want to, and to prove your English proficiency, you will have to take a test called the TOEFL or the IELTS, and no matter which country you want to study in, right? And we also need to navigate the complex university admission process, which is very different from what we have in India. And one has to write essays, one has to think about what is the, why I'm doing this, and what is the, why this particular university, what are the academic journey and the projects and all that I have done that have brought me to this point, and so on. And then, of course, there is the financial part of the journey, finding the right scholarships or loan providers and so on. So there is an end-to-end journey that parents assist their children with, but the students actually take this journey, and it can be lonely sometimes, it can be scary, and it can be extremely competitive, because going abroad is something that a lot of Indians really want to do. It doesn't matter whether they settle down there or whether they come back to India. That's totally, that's a personal choice. But having that experience and that exposure, and then it really gives you a fantastic foundation for your future, right? So in my company, I actually decided to complete the loop, sort of connect the dots, in the sense that now I'm doing for a lot of students what I really found helpful for me, and I kind of I just love the fact that I can scale this, right? So happy to share that students from more than 250 Indian cities and 55 countries have enrolled with us, and especially happy that that includes more than 200 SVCE students whom I've helped go through this entire study abroad application journey successfully. So this is something that I wanted to share. So let's say okay, now let's say you do want to explore options of studying abroad. What are the different fields of specialization? And here are some fields that are extremely popular among Indians, and these are all I have among the thousands of students we have worked with, we have helped, especially in India, we have seen that these are the fields that Indian students really want to pursue. And what is quite interesting here is so many of these fields are actually accessible to EC undergraduates, right? So more than 40 of these fields, you can do your master's in or PhD in these fields, and I've bolded some of them for you, if you did your undergraduate degree in EC, right? So as the HOD sir said, if you do your undergrad in EC, you can also specialize in EC. You can go into computer science if you wanted to. You can go into management or MBA related fields. You can go into analytics. You can go into data science, ML, machine learning, neural networks. You have a lot of different pathways. And here I have put in bold some of the paths that you can take, and these are all areas where our students at my own company, for example, at Galvanize, we have helped the students apply successfully for masters or PhD in these fields, right? And clearly, EC is a fantastic option because it gives you, such a wide way of specialization. Because, for example, if somebody did their undergrad in computer science or IT, they would not be able to apply to many of these fields here, right? For example, signal processing or power electronics and so on. So EC does give you that flexibility, right, to go deeper into your area or to branch off into allied associated areas, or if you want to go into management after some work experience. So you really have a lot of flexibility, and this is something I'm actually seeing with our students, right? Over the years, this is actually this is a reality. So it's a fantastic choice in that sense. So I'll move on to a little bit about how do you about the popular destination countries. So, for example, at Galvanize, we've helped students reach more than 300 universities across these 16 countries, and these are some very, very popular destinations. Now, I think there's some things that as a student and as a parent you want to keep in mind is not all countries are the same. There are pros and cons. And USA is, of course, extremely popular. I would say it's the single most popular destination, and definitely for SVCNs, so many of them, most of my batchmates and even my juniors, the SVCNs I've helped apply to study abroad, they love applying to the US. I think that because it is the world's largest economy, and it also has some really good, a lot of famous institutions. And in the US, if you do your master's in a STEM field, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, then you can stay back and work there for up to 3 years in your field. And this does not even require an H-1B permit for these 3 years of work experience, right? So it gives, and when you're working there, then you can, apply for a work visa and so on. So, but it gives you that opportunity to experience work life there. And I would say the same is true for Canada also. It has got a lot of good universities, though not as many as that in the US, but it's got quite a few. And Canada, irrespective of the field, STEM or not, you can stay back and work there for up to 3 years as well without requiring a work permit. And Canada is increasingly more welcoming for permanent residency. So if that is something you want to do, hey, I want to settle down there, then you might want to consider applying to say US and Canada as well. So you keep your options open. And Canada is more welcoming in terms of permanent residency, but US has got a much larger economy and therefore, relatively easier to find jobs, right? Similarly, the UK in recent years, they have changed their student work permits to give you 2 years of stay back and work approval. And so after graduating from the UK, the masters, you can stay back for 2 years, you can work there. And during this time, if you want, you can, with the help of your employer, apply for a work visa and so on, right? So a lot of these countries have, each one has its own strengths. Germany, for example, is becoming an increasingly popular destination because it offers, if you get accepted to a public university in Germany, then the tuition cost is free and you only have to pay for the living expenses. So in that sense, it is much less, it's less expensive to study in Germany. On the other hand, though, it will help you a lot if you were to learn a little bit of German and to communicate and make sure that life is smooth there. So similarly, Singapore is again a very popular destination because, well, it is close to India. It's very close to Chennai. In fact, I've had so many parents tell me, I can, instead of taking a flight from Chennai to Delhi, I might as well take a flight from Chennai to Singapore, let my child study there, right? It's the same thing. So very popular for Indians, especially from if you're from Chennai or South India. And at the same time, though, the very competitive. There are a handful of very good universities. It's extremely competitive to get admitted and afterwards to work as well. But it is culturally, it's very, I would say among all these countries, it's the closest to India. And if that is something that you're looking for, then, Singapore is a really good option, right? And another recent trend that we're seeing is a lot of students also want to explore other European countries, like say Sweden or Netherlands and Ireland, and these are also increasingly attracting students. And of course, Australia has been New Zealand have been very popular destinations for quite some time. So what we encourage students to do is to apply to, say, if you want a little bit of flexibility, you can always apply to, say, 2 countries, right? And that way you keep your options open. So once you get the admission, based on the socio-political situation, you can decide exactly what you want to pursue and how you want to go about it, right? So I'll just share with you a few, some sample universities, like where our students at Galvanize have gone, a lot of SVCNs have gone. And there's a lot of universities in the US, very popular, lots of alumni in so many of these universities have graduated from there, as well as there are fantastic universities outside the US as well, in all these other countries that I was talking about. So you have so many options, and to give you that foundation, to build on top of the foundation that you will be acquiring at SVC, right? So something for you to keep in mind is universities mostly enroll students in August. That's called the fall semester, and sometimes in the spring semester. That's also popular, but fall is definitely the most popular. And one piece of advice I would like to give is, if you want to do your higher studies in the US, you should try and take your GRE exam sometime in the 2nd or the 3rd year. And also try and do a lot of internships, especially during summer. I'm so glad SVC is giving you a compulsory internship. Please take it, use the opportunity, and even in the summer between your 2nd and 3rd year, or summer between your 3rd and 4th year, please try and do projects, internships, research, which will give you a lot of insight into the industry, and also strengthen your application profile, right? So in your final year, you can take the English test, which is your TOEFL or the IELTS test, and make sure you have excellent professional relationships with your professors, because you will be going to them for LORs, or what are called letters of recommendation, and they will be writing about you, about their observations about you, and recommend to the university that you should be accepted, right? So this applying to universities abroad is at least a year-long process, and if you include your GRE, it's probably even longer. So take your time. Whereas if you don't want to apply to the US, then it's likely that you don't have to take the GRE, right? Some universities outside the US require it, but many don't. So depending on which country, we can decide the tests, but we generally recommend that you apply for the fall semester. So in your 4th year, you will expect your applications to reach universities between December to February, and you have to work backwards and prepare from that, right? So after you graduate in May or June, you can join the university in August, right? You will get your visa in June, July, and you will join in August, September. This is a typical timeline for students as far as the higher education abroad is concerned. So in the final half of my presentation, I would like to briefly touch upon a couple of topics. So, okay, you've got your undergrad degree, you've got your master's if you want to, India or abroad, and then you enter the professional realm, right? So here, I would just like to touch upon 3 different aspects, and these are not exactly there's no hierarchy in the sense, but you will find that in an organization you will often have to work at different levels. So at the early stage of your career, you're probably working at as an individual contributor, where you will use your domain expertise, right? Let's say it's VLSI, or let's say it's electromagnetic theory, optics, whatever. And you will use your domain expertise to solve specific problems, right? So you will be a problem solver at a systems level. So you will be working with a system in your area of expertise. So whether you're doing, you could be doing research, you could become a staff engineer, an architect, and these are all possible pathways for you. Once you have completely nailed down that domain expertise, then you can you can go on to influence the system in that you're building in so many ways, right? And I would also like to encourage you to start acquiring other skills once you're in a professional environment, or for that matter, even in your undergrad. If you have, like SVC offers you so many projects and team activities and extracurricular opportunities, extracurricular opportunities and culturals, because these help you build team skills, and these are interpersonal skills, which while on one hand you need your domain expertise, that's the foundation. Then you want to be an effective manager, for example. You want to lead a team effectively. You want to make sure a group of people can work effectively to build an optimal system. And therefore, I think the soft skills, the emotional intelligence, the ability to work with different kinds of people from different backgrounds, understand their motivations, their goals, and unite them towards a common cause. These are really, really important. So, as if whenever you get the opportunity, doing all these group projects, it's not just about submitting that project on the deadline. It's a great opportunity to build your team and your interpersonal skills, your soft skills, right? And finally, the third aspect, which you should try and cultivate when you in any organization setting. An organization need not be a company; it can be a university, it can be a research lab. But in an organization setting, often decisions have to be taken, right? What is the right course of action for us? What are the trade-offs? Should we hire now for this, or should we go behind that project or that product? And therefore, I think if you can start cultivating a slightly a more strategic perspective, how do I achieve the outcome, right? And I think that is something you can watch out for. I'm just sharing these things with you. I know you're going to be in college for 4 years, but these are this perspective is something to keep in mind for you, so you can try and absorb the learning opportunities in these areas during your college experience itself. This is something you want to see if you can absorb these things. And finally, I would like to touch upon the lessons that I have learned personally from my entrepreneurial journey. And it has definitely been interesting. I have no regrets. I'm very happy that I've had these experiences. But I should say that being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. And but if it is something that really is within you and you want to give it a try, here are some lessons that I have learned that you might want to keep in mind. And the best part is now you've got an entrepreneurship cell at SPC. So if you have a basic idea and you want to test the business hypothesis out, you can make use of that support. So you have all these opportunities that you can make use of. So if that's something you want to pursue, here are some lessons that I have learned. So first is, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to stomach risk. You have to have an appetite for risk because it is an extremely uncertain journey, right? And of course, that is why the reward is high because the success rates are very low. 9 out of 10 companies actually don't make it, right? But 1 in 10 does, and among those 1 in 10 makes it really big. So it's a high risk, high reward journey. So if you have the appetite for risk, keeping in mind your own personal situation, your family situation, this is something that you want to think about. The second thing, of course, no pain, no gain. Now, this is true everywhere. In every profession, you have to work hard to succeed. I think what makes an entrepreneurial, entrepreneurship more challenging in this aspect is no pain, no gain. Literally means no pain, no gain. In the sense, you are literally the only person at the beginning responsible for your organization, your journey. If you have to sometimes do sales, you will have to do marketing, you will have to do product development, you will have to take business decisions, you will have to be there, you may need to go get an accountant. You're literally the receptionist in the beginning, right? Picking the phone and calling prospective customers. So you have to be willing to wear multiple hats and experience all these roles. So if that is not your cup of tea, then you really want to reconsider this. thirdly, I would like to say that don't jump into forming a company unless you have clarity in your business model and you have had the opportunity to test it out. Again, an entrepreneurship cell is a great way to test out your hypothesis. You have to have a conviction that, okay, I think there is a need for this kind of a product or service, and I think this is what people may be willing to pay to satisfy that need. And then you really want to test your hypothesis, right? Start small, go out of the building, talk to people, say, look, if I have this solution, I have this prototype, what will you do? What will you pay? Okay, what are your problems? And maybe you might find out that they're not willing to pay, right? They want it, but they don't need it. I mean, or rather, they need it, but they don't want it. So you will have to test your hypothesis, and you have to keep iterating very quickly. That's what we mean by fail fast, right? You want to try something out there, see if it works. People are lapping it up, great. If not, okay, quickly go back to the drawing board, change it. And you want to, this is called pivoting. You have to be able to keep changing what you're offering the customer, or how you're offering, or how you're positioning, how you're pricing, how you're conveying the need, and you have to keep changing until you find that golden link that works, and then you start building on top of it, right? So you got to keep in mind whether sometimes people really need something, okay, like a lot of people really need to lose weight, but are they willing to actually put in all the effort that they want to do for it, right? And how can you make them do that? So you got to make sure it's something they want and not just that they need, right? And I think something that everybody knows, if you want to be an entrepreneur, your customer is your king, your customer is your queen. They are the ultimate in authority, and everything else flows back from that. So you want to keep their success in mind. You want to make sure you delight them, they're satisfied, because that is how you will build your brand. That is how word of mouth will flow. And of course, who's going to deliver all of this experience to the customer? Your team, right? Your team. You got to be clear as a leader. You have to make sure your team shares the same values that you share for the company. They have the same vision that you have. And while each of them may be skilled at different things, you want to make sure everybody's united and aligned towards a common vision, right? And when you have everybody working together, make sure that you will track everybody's output. What are the metrics you're going after? How is it looking? And then eventually, once you start growing, you will want to build in processes so everybody knows who is responsible for what, and then that is what will help you scale. So these are just some of the things that you want to keep in mind if you want to become an entrepreneur. And once again, I would, if that is something you want, I would strongly encourage you to use the opportunity at SVC to do the entrepreneurship cell, and then you will also find out if this is something that you're cut out for. So with that, I would like to wrap up my part of the presentation. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I will be sticking around and happy to answer any questions you have for me about studying abroad or about entrepreneurship. I'm happy to answer at the end of the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavitra. Thank you for your fantabulous speech. Your years of research, depth of understanding, and the way you presented made all of us spellbound. Thank you once again, Pavitra ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It's a time to watch and listen to video testimonials by our alumni from various batches. Thanks to all their time and effort they took to share their thoughts and experiences at SVC.
Hello everyone. I hope you're doing good and staying safe. I'm Srinath Ramakrishnan, an alum of SVC ECC department. I graduated in 2014 and joined McKinsey & Company, one of the world's most renowned management consulting firms. I currently work with clients across different regions and different sectors. Part of my role involves me to develop complex digital and analytical models to help our clients improve their top line and bottom line growth, and also to provide business consulting to clients that need help with. While my role of being a business analyst might not exactly match the core expectations of a CE major, I have found that the skills I have learned in SVCE to be very useful all along my career. SVCE is a wonderful place to learn, experiment, and present your talent to a group of incredible people. The variety of facilities provided by the college, cutting-edge technologies used by the departments, and highly skilled staff make SVCE a wonderful place to kickstart your learning journey. Apart from the academia, SVC also presents numerous opportunities to showcase and develop your leadership skills, which in my point is very important and equivalent to your core technical skills. All in all, I proudly say SVC is a launchpad for engineers to reach heights that they never imagined. I hope you have a wonderful journey in SVC, and I hope you also share your story in the future to the next gen of public engineers. All the way.
Hi, I'm Harita Ramesh Babu, and I studied at SVC at the batch of 2015 to 2019. I was in the Electronics and Communications department, and I really have to say that the curriculum and the professors are really great. The curriculum especially is very inclusive, and it has a lot of courses in computer science like computer architecture and object-oriented programming. It also has courses in AI like robotics. So yeah, I took a couple of these courses, and it really inspired me to pursue computer science. And I did my master's in computer science. I just completed it. I graduated like a month back, and now I'm working as a data scientist at Lexis Risk Solutions, which is in insurance. And and apart from that, I would have to say that the English department, the HSS department, really pushed me into a lot of activities like speaking contests and essay writing contests. And yeah, it was really fun. And yeah, I was part of a couple of clubs. Like I was part of the Road Track Club as well as the EC Association. So yeah, FCC has a lot to offer. So yeah, thank you so much for being a part of my journey.
Hi, Vanakkam. This is Soumyan from 2012 SVC EC department. Hope you're all doing well. I'm currently working as an embedded software engineer in Amplify, California. The journey so far in my life has been possible only because of my alma mater SVC. One step into SVC was a giant leap in my life. I remember back in 2009, the event called Panorama, where we used to create projects and show it to our professors. That I would call as a starting point or the Puliasuri of my career. The project we did and working together as a team kindled my interest into embedded systems. The atmosphere in SVCE was so motivating and lively. The professors were encouraging and pushing me to excel. They see the talent in every student and they take the best effort in molding them to achieve their goals. That is not an easy job. It's a lot of responsibility in directing students the right path, and they take it seriously. Other activities and events organized by me and my team taught me people and time management skills. I remember we used to conduct workshops where we trained students, and this helped nurture my mentorship skills, and at the same time we had a lot of fun. In SVC, I got to meet the best of the best students from whom I learned a lot, and eventually that helped shape me into a better person. Joining SVC has been the best decision or one of the best decisions I made in my life. Those 4 years created ripples which turned into giant waves on which I'm surfing today. I'd like to thank all my professors, including lab technicians and everyone else in SVC who have helped me, influenced me, and been a great support to realize my dream. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Vaibhav Lord. I'm a 2014 graduate of the EC department of SVC. I currently work at Merck Pharmaceuticals for their global commercial analytics and forecasting team. And I am currently a manager for one of their oncology cancer products. I handle forecasting for multiple regions. My journey at SVC has been a very transformational experience, and I say that because there were some activities in every semester, in addition to academics, which helped me see a little more of the world outside, a little more of practical difficulties, a little more of the importance of presenting something that you take hours to build, communication, and so many other aspects. So I think all of this set me up for a very smooth placement. And I think after 3 days of interviews, I ended up getting my first offer at Mu Sigma. Now, Mu Sigma again was an amazing experience. I would say it was an intense learning experience because right from the third month, we were involved with the client. We were presenting to the client. We were not only handling client communication, we were building tools that would help the business on a day-to-day basis. Uh, and there were so many tools and softwares to learn, and there was very little time. So I think it was a very intense experience as far as growing in an analytics company or a unicorn is concerned. I would say my experience at Mu Sigma helped me get into a very focused analytics role at a pharma consulting firm. And here I was able to help the brand teams at AstraZeneca, Merck Pharmaceuticals, Genentech, Roche, to name a few, to help them understand more about the sales force, what is happening in the market in terms of the drug use, the drug awareness, and important business metrics that matter to them on a day-to-day basis. And all of this happened alongside fellow SVCNs who who are a pleasant sight, and who are pleasant to have around. And I was also glad to have the opportunity to come back to college and recruit people for my team and mentor them. All of this has been a great people experience, if I can simplify. And I think all of this paved the way into my current role at Merck Pharmaceuticals, where I am helping the company on a day-to-day basis build forecasts for various markets in the world, whether it's US, EU, or Japan, both in terms of cancer patients, also in terms of revenue, so that manufacturing is also informed as well as marketing and sales are also informed. So I think this role has been a very promising so far, and I hope to grow in the business analytics space. I also hope that you get enough opportunities, not just to apply everything that you learn hands-on, that is very important, but also to meet people, also to learn from people. So I hope that you learn from books and you learn from people, and you get enough challenges to grow in your near future and the years to come.
Hello everyone, I'm Praveen Ashok Kumar, a 2014 EC pass out from SVC. Presently, I'm a technical program manager with US Ignite, a White House Office of Science Technology Policy Initiative in Washington, DC. Thinking about SVC, while we were out there, we were still a part of a non-university affiliated school, and all the subjects and the faculties out there were phenomenal when it comes to teaching us the technical core concepts or about the professional and the career ethical values that we definitely needed for the real-time life that we're presently living through. I still remember the days we were out there where SVC was all about freedom. We were given the freedom to think, we were given the freedom to study, choose the topics we like, experiment well at labs. Like SVC was certainly one of the colleges that had a state-of-the-art laboratories across a lot of the different colleges that I've seen. Personally, doing masters from New York universities, which is one of the premier universities across the globe, definitely the standards in SVC were the one that let me in par to compete with other students out there. Thinking about the quality of the staff or the faculty at SVC, they were definitely one of the best. We were provided with teachers who had the passion and the dedication to teach through the students, to support the students with their research curriculums, and imbibe that seed that actually helped us pursue towards masters or progress towards our career goals when it comes to technical stability or technical learning that we gained through as an initial part of the learning from SVC. In specific, our department was definitely one of the best departments to be at. I'm personally very passionate towards electronics. I presently work a lot towards Internet of Things and 5G and telecom, all that coming through. There is a lot of scope that's coming up with everything that's being ramped up, and where communication plays a really critical role. And you might have all seen that during the COVID times. There is so much of scope, there is so much of things that needs to be done. And I'm sure SVC is going to be a place where a lot of innovative ideas and a lot of innovative concepts are going to come out.
Thanks to all the alumni who put effort in making this video testimonial a success one. And before moving to the Q&A session, let us hear from the students of passing out batch 2017 to 21 about their journey at SVCE. Now it's my pleasure to welcome Manas Reddy followed by Abhinami to talk about campus life at SVCE. Over to Manas Reddy.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to our esteemed alumnus, professors, faculty members, fellow students, and also the upcoming students to SCC. My name is Manas Reddy K, and I'm just finishing my final year in SCC, that is in the EC department, and I'll be leaving for my master's in the next few months. So it gives me immense pleasure to be here and to talk to you all about my life and as an average student in SCC and from the EC department. To start off with, in general about SCC, like all of you would have probably seen, the state-of-the-art campus with large green spaces and also the largest library in Anna University campuses with over 1 lakh titles. So coming to our esteemed department, so it's one of the most coveted departments amongst all Anna University affiliated campuses. And with prodigious professors and faculty members having high expertise in every single domain across the both electronics and communication fields. So although our faculty, as you would have seen earlier, our faculties also have very high value projects from highly regarded institutions such as DRDO, ISRO, AICT, amongst many others. And students will also be, a lot of times where students also be working with the faculty in a lot of research projects from these very established institutions. So with state-of-the-art laboratories, the department ensures that you get the best of a practical exposure before you enter into any industry of your choice. So, coming to the placements side of it, our department, the EC department, has its own dedicated placement coordinator team that is aimed at developing and training all the necessity skills that you would need to get placed in a top-notch company in the industry. So they'll ensure that all the students of our department get placed in the top-notch and the best of the best jobs that are available for us. And other than placements, also come higher studies. So a lot of you might be interested in going to in pursuing higher studies or other options. So our department ensures provides best of the support with your LORs. That's a very basic requirement, and LORs is something that actually helps your profile. It boosts your profile when you're going abroad. So your research projects and whenever, so like how we've seen Apavitra ma'am talking about the overall development of your profile for higher studies. So EC department gives you the best of the chances with the research projects, papers, what we can publish, and your overall leadership skills also develop when you're part of a lot of technical associations here and everything. So coming to the one thing I was significantly part of were the technical associations in the EC department. And so one thing what I've learned majorly is my leadership skills, and every student that I've seen being part of all these technical associations has gained a lot of knowledge, working with a lot of peers in the same field, and leadership skills definitely takes a very big gain. So coming to the biggest and most notable one is the EC, that's Electronics Communication Engineers Association, that's the ECEA. So this is the biggest student association representing all the students of the EC department, and has all seen a lot of events. And so this association plays a key role in organizing the national level technical symposium, that is the Makeathons, the largest Makeathon held in the campus for duration of 24 hours. Guest lectures, webinars, even through the pandemic period, the team ensured that the students and the batchmates, the peers, make the best use of the productive time in learning new skills and gaining new insightful knowledge about the industry and technologies that they can pursue. And just to so All these activities, are aimed at, develop the overall aspects of any student that you need when you're entering into any university. Right. So moving on, another one of the same thing clubs was all this robotics and AI enthusiasts. RAIC, that's the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Club. So this is one example where the students, the peer interest of the students, right? It's supported by the management and the department, the professors very well. Where this is a student-founded and student-led club where a group of students with a common interest and passion towards robotics and artificial intelligence, and it's mentored. It's also mentored by students and guided by the faculty members. So these students are a class apart. So when they participate in a lot of competitions, where research in these fields, and they're extremely knowledgeable, is what I would say, in these domains. And so associations like this gives you a very insightful and a direct knowledge into peers who've been working in this field. And also, like how our HOD sir has mentioned, there are other technical associations that forums that it's like the IET, that's the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers Student Forum, and the IEEE Students Forum, amongst a lot others that you can be a part of, where you would definitely have a lot of, you can access a lot of research articles, be meeting a lot of peers that have worked in these domains. You'll be interacting with a lot of industrial experts. All these helps in your projects, your research, your placement. It also helps you in the placement when you're going for your internships and everything. So I just want to say this. So to summarize, basically the EC department on a whole is the best place for anyone looking forward to enter into either the hardware or the software industry, while developing an overall profile in multiple avenues through their time of 4 years in this department. This is my final year in this department. I'll be passing out in a few months, and this is my personal experience that all the skills that I've learned here has helped me in a lot of places, in multiple avenues in life. So pretty sure if it helps me, it will definitely help all of you here. So with that, I would like to thank everyone. Thank the EC department for giving me this opportunity, and over to ma'am.
Thank you, Manas. Over to Abhirami now.
A very good morning to everyone present here. First, I think it's very nice that the organizing committee reached out to current students, that is Manas and myself, to share our experiences and keep this webinar as authentic as possible. And it's my pleasure to be here this morning. So my 4 years at SVC in the department of EC have been nothing short of eventful and fruitful. And for this, I have my amazing faculty and peer group to thank. So now I'll walk you through how being an EC student helped me realize my career goals. So first, if I were to talk about academics, we have a curriculum that covers the basics and strengthens our fundamentals. So we deal with simple subjects like electronic devices, then electronic circuits, control systems, and then slowly progress to more complex subjects like computer architecture and VLSI design. So this whole process is staged, and at any point in a semester, no student will find the curriculum to be unmanageable or difficult at all. And most of the courses that we take up are coupled with hands-on lab sessions. So we have state-of-the-art labs with top-notch equipment, and personally, I have gained a lot from my lab sessions. So anytime I didn't understand the utility of a concept in class, I would understand them during my lab sessions, and that's how these lab sessions have had a great impact on me. In addition to this, the curriculum also allows for allied learning. So what I mean by this is it is not restricted to core electronics. So at any point, if you feel like you're not very, very strong in electronics and you want to move to a more software-oriented line, then choosing EC is one of the best things you can do. So there are options to study and work on subjects that can pass off as an EC subject as well. So I had the opportunity here to study programming and data structures, microprocessors and microcontrollers as mandatory courses. I also took up courses like digital image processing, cryptography, and embedded real time systems. So these courses required one to have sufficient knowledge in both programming and the fundamentals of electronics right from the beginning. So, because our department allowed us to choose a mixed bag of courses, I was able to hone my skills in all these areas. And now I can say with confidence that I have the right balance between CS and EC. Now, SEC isn't all about academics. The EC department has technical clubs like the EC Association, Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Club, Forum for Data Science Engineers, and a horde of other non technical clubs. So, these clubs offer students wide networking opportunities, and this helps them to upskill themselves. And we also organize a technical symposium every year called Upagraha. So here, various events such as circuit tricks, technical debates, and engaging in mini projects give students the chance to put whatever skills they've acquired in a classroom environment to test. We also organize various makeathons throughout the year, and students are handsomely rewarded in these. It was at one of these events that I truly discovered my potential. And apart from sharpening individual skills, students learn to collaborate with their peers and build projects. So, this in turn prepares them for a work environment for when they graduate and go into the real world. I found that the things that go into increasing our emotional quotient, like empathy, effective communication, and teamwork, are all inculcated in these kind of platforms. Now, on the other side of the court of all these clubs I just spoke about, these clubs are student led and managed, like Manas mentioned earlier. And I happen to be the joint secretary of the EC Association and the president of the Alumni Association. So, both these roles brought about my leadership skills and gave me the ability to multitask, the ability to step up during a crisis, and more importantly, to think about the collective good. So these skills are something that go a long way in the workforce 4 years down the line. This way, the opportunities that the department provided helped us mold ourselves both in the technical and in the non technical aspects. With respect to placements, all students who opt for placements undergo rigorous training right from year one. Since a majority of the companies that interview us require sufficient programming knowledge, the training and placement cell of SVC makes sure we are well trained in that regard. Even during the pandemic last year, our training sessions for both technical and non technical content went on smoothly. The training and placement cell is always ready to support us in any capacity, and that's something I've always appreciated throughout these 4 years. As a result of all this, we have an exemplary placement record with most of our students making it to core as well as service based companies, and then they branch out to whatever career, whatever path they desire. And to talk about higher studies, SVC, as you all might be aware, is well known to produce students who think about doing their graduate studies here in India or abroad. So when I was in college, we had gate coaching sessions. I'm talking about the in-person classes. So we had gate coaching sessions in the evenings, and when the exam was around the corner, these coaching sessions helped us a lot, and a lot of us were able to crack the exam. And doing higher studies abroad requires a lot of profile building work to be done. This includes working on a lot of projects, taking part in competitions and research activities, and also publishing papers. So, because our department isn't all about traditional academics and it seeks to achieve and give students a holistic exposure, it makes sure to cover all these bases. Our students are encouraged to participate in national level technical hackathons like the Smart India Hackathon, and to participate in other intercollegiate events. So these events expose us to what other kids our age are doing, and brings about a healthy sense of competition. While at SVC, I also interned at various firms in the city and at a university abroad. The department was very, very supportive of this, and this has increased my chances of getting into a good university when I apply next year. And also, the department has a lot of avenues for research in the area of AI in RF communication and signal processing. This not only increases our subject knowledge, it helps us understand what it's like to take up research during your master's or during PhD. So, with all this being said, I think it'll be great if students flock towards EC for a more wholesome degree. And I'm sure that students will find it positively challenging and at the same time rewarding just as much as I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhirami. Thank you, Manas and Abhirami, for sharing your thoughts and experiences at SVC. Good luck to both of you. As a field of engineering, EC offers an immense scope to explore and expand your horizon. SVC encourages aspiring students to pursue their passion and excel in their careers. My dear students, studying in our institution is pure joy. You will witness that our professors, students, and other staff members are an epitome of compassion, and you will be enthralled to be amidst us. Now it's time for Q&A session. Dear parents and students, I request you to get clarified your queries from our speakers. Thank you. Sir?
Yes, madam.
We have a few questions that is being raised at the time of admission, and then when they came and inquired about that admission procedure. Shall I shoot up those questions, sir?
Yes, madam, you can proceed.
Okay. What is an autonomous engineering institution, and how does it differ from affiliated institutions?
Who should answer this question?
Sir, HOD sir, you may answer this question, sir.
I think during my address itself,
Yes,
I have actually mentioned about this.
Yes, sir.
So autonomy means actually it is an kind of academic freedom actually granted, to our institution. So, so as I said, the parent university is, Anna University. Anna University will be awarding the degree. Actually, we have the freedom to, develop our own curriculum and syllabus. And we can we also have the freedom to conduct the examination and publish the results. So see by way of this, actually we can ensure that our curriculum and syllabus are on par with the industry requirements. So actually autonomous actually is a good kind of good thing actually. Okay.
Thank you, sir. And this is over to Pavitra ma'am. Pavitra ma'am, could you please tell what are the skills that an EC student needs to develop to improve job prospects?
Sure. So firstly, you want to make sure you have the skills, the technical skills, the domain expertise in your area in which you want to look for a job. So let's say you're looking for campus interviews. Get the clarity whether you want to go for the core company or another company, and make sure that your foundations are clear, and do a little bit of research on the company, right? Let us say it's a telecom company. Then you want to make sure your communication systems basics are good. Right. Similarly, if it is a medical devices company, you want to know a little bit on the electronics and or things like that. So you want to make sure what the company, what the technical skills that company wants, you have brushed up your fundamentals on that and you're strong in that. The second thing would be to prepare for the behavioral interviews, which they will ask you questions like, what is your long-term goal, what motivates you, and what are some weaknesses, and all those kinds of things. What are areas of improvement? So you want to make sure you give a good, genuine response, which does not cast you in a poor light, but at the same time it is very honest and it shows that you are eager to learn and take feedback and improve. I think these are the two main things that you need. And of course, finally, if you can make sure you well prepared to ask them good questions, right? They will always ask you, sir, do you have any questions for us, right? It's don't ask a question for the sake of asking. It shouldn't look contrived. But at the same time, if you have done enough research on the company, you may get some one or two interesting questions that you should ask, because it also shows that you are interested and you have looked up, what they're doing and expressing your interest. These are the three things that I would suggest.
Thank you, ma'am. And I think Mr. Arun is here. Arun, sir, are you there? Okay. I think any of the speakers can answer this question. What are the major technologies in which an EC engineer can work on?
HOD, sir, would you like to go for it?
Yeah, madam. I think I have I also addressed about the
Yes, sir. In
major
your
areas.
presentation.
Yeah. So as I said, a lot of scope is there in the field of IoT and communication, embedded systems, like signal processing, image processing, computer vision, nanotechnology, and even sustainable energy and power systems. So energy storage, technology, control systems and robotics, remote sensing. A lot of fields are there. It's never ending.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you are right. Thank you, sir. And Pavitra, ma'am, this is a question most of the students they will ask when they come for the admission. Which one to be chosen, whether CSE or ECE?
Okay. So personally, if you ask me, I'll say hands-on ECE is the better choice, and I'll tell you why I feel that way. As HOD sir said, if you do ECE, later on, if you want to do computer science, you can always do computer science. In fact, you can even apply to do a master's in computer science at a university abroad with an ECE undergraduate degree. They will still accept you,
Yeah,
because
right.
you're also taught programming in ECE, right? Whereas switching the other way around is very, very difficult, because you would not have studied the foundations of ECE. If you want to do a master's in ECE, the foundations are necessary, right? So definitely I would think ECE is the better option. And if you want to do some extra computer science classes, you want to learn more about operating systems or architecture, you can always learn online. You can do that on the side, right? You can do a courses on Coursera or take up something extra while you're doing your EC. That way you get a twin foundation, whereas the other way around again is not possible, right? If you're doing undergraduate degree or BE in computer science, you can't go on the side and equip the complete set of ECE skills that you would have gotten in a college environment, because it requires a lot of hands-on lab, right? I still remember all the monitors, all those diagrams, all those cute things, which, all your generators, waveforms. You need to feel the physicality of it. And that is not easy to get in a completely virtual environment. So strongly recommend ECE, because it gives you the flexibility to go in both directions.
Thank you, Pavitra ma'am. As you said, if we take up ECE, then we can also study CSE as an extra course through online mode. But it would be impossible if you, as you said, if we take CSE and then do ECE. And there is a question in the chat box. Satish, can you read out that question?
Ma'am, 1 second. Ma'am, the question is, I have a question. The internship are main motivating factor for the academic industry collaboration. So in this aspect, will you provide the latest topics and guidelines to the future aspirants?
HOD, sir.
Yeah. See, so again, actually, it's asking about the topics, right? And see, if you intend to, work in a core company, actually, as I said, the topics which I, just now, mentioned. So those are all the areas, you have to be, proficient in order to go and work in any core companies, right? So over and above this, many of our students actually they do internships in IT companies as well, right? So internships actually we permit them to go and do it during the 7th semester or even during the 8th semester. So most of our students actually they go and work in an IT company, so during that time actually they may develop codings for a particular project or so things like that. It all depends where actually you want to go and do your internship, right? Accordingly the topic will differ. So if it is a core company, it depends on what the company, basically what the company is doing, right? So if it is a semiconductor company, actually you may have to work on the devices, right? And if it is a communication related company, you may have to work on communication in devices aspect, right? So basically what is required is before going for an internship, during the first 2 to 3 years of period of study, you have to understand the conceptual understanding is very important. So you have to gain enough knowledge, and later on once you complete your degree, I think you would be in a position to read and understand the latest happenings, because if you take any individual, all of us are not proficient in everything, right? So once you have some basic knowledge, right, good amount of basic knowledge, so later on once you complete your engineering study, I think you would be able to refine yourself and mold yourself accordingly to that situation, right? And you can adapt it, right? So you will be dynamic to learn new things as and when it is required. So actually we cannot be anticipating so early about all those things now itself, right? So when things move on, actually you will get to know about those things. Yes, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And again, one more question. What are the above competitive exams other than GATE exam EC student can consider writing for getting a government job? Pavitra ma'am?
Right. So the questioner has already asked other than GATE exam. So that means they're probably not looking to specialize in a technical domain, because if you want to specialize within your core subject area, the GATE is the best exam to write. It's an all India acknowledged exam, and it will also help you get into any of the MTech courses. So if you don't want to specialize in your subject, within India, then if you're probably looking at, let's say, you want to do a management course, then you can write the CAT, and there are other entrance exams for MBAs. If you're looking for government job, as you said, then definitely the UPSCs, the administrative services exams are a good option, but it does require a lot of preparation and consistent preparation over time from you. And if you want to there are also there are more exams. There are a bit niche, but I think these are the primary ones that come to mind. For a government job, best option is GATE. If you don't want to do GATE for whatever reason, then you want to look at the administrative services. I think after getting an engineering degree, I'm not sure if you should take the bank PO kind of exam, so that's why I'm not recommending that. Sir, if you want to add to this.
Yes, madam. You rightly said, GATE is the only examination, right, for to undertake any job in the government sector, right, sir? To take up a job in the government sector. So as you said, so this PSUs, right, public sector undertakings like Bharat Electronics Limited or IOCL, right, or Indian Oil Corporation Limited, SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited. So if actually you wish to take up a job in any one of these government sectors, then definitely GATE is an important qualification. You need to attend the GATE exam and get a good score in GATE. So that will help you to land in any government sector companies.
Thank you, sir. And again, one more question to HOD, sir.
Yes,
what type of hostel accommodation are you providing to students?
As I said, we have separate hostels for boys and girls, and I think facilities. I believe 2 rooms, or 2 in 1 room, or 4 students in 1 room. Facilities are also there, and vegetarian food is being served. So even a Wi-Fi facility is also there in our hostel block. So we have a very good, hostel facilities. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Any questions from the participants? If no questions, sir,
Yes, madam.
shall we move on to the next
Yeah,
section?
sure.
Okay, thank you. Now we moved on to the last part of our program. No duty is more urgent than that of saying thanks. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. So it's my privilege to give the vote of thanks to this webinar. Respected and our most distinguished speakers, our beloved HOD, professors, parents, my dear friends, and students. First of all, I would like to thank our speakers of the day, our HOD, Dr. S. Muthukumar, Dr. Arun Janathanan, and Ms. Pavitra Srinivasan for enlightening us with their knowledge and making this webinar interesting and meaningful. It gave deep insights into the topic. I'm pretty sure that the precious knowledge that speakers gave us will definitely help us in our studies and future. Thank you, speakers. And special thanks to our alumni for their time and effort they spent in making the video presentation. And I'm happy to express my thanks to Manas Reddy and Abhirami for sharing their wonderful journey at SVC. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation to Mr. Sendil Rajan, Mr. N. Satish, Ms. Menaka, Ms. Vidya, and Mr. Dilli Ganesh for their tremendous job, and all the faculty members who supported us in contacting the parents and students and making them to be a part of this event. Last but not the least, I express my profound gratitude to all the faculty members, supporting staff, and all others for their support, guidance, help, and cooperation in the organization of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence made this day the most memorable day. Thank you for listening, for being here, and most importantly, for sharing your valuable time with all of us. Thank you. Be safe. And I request the participants to give your feedbacks, because always the feedback will make us improve our performance and the preparation for the next time. So the a link will be posted in the chat box, and I request all the participants to give your valuable feedback. Thank you once again all. Thank you, Pavitra ma'am. Thank you, Arun sir. Thank you, HOD sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
the best to all the students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.